Hello. Today, I want to do the inlet. I'm going to start the inlet because I need to get the throttle body before I can finally decide on what I want to do. So I've got my exhaust done, as you saw in a previous vid. Put this on. Okay. So as you can see, my clutch master cylinder's there. So I'm actually going to move that over about 1/2 inch, which will in turn give me a bit more room here, so my inlet can just taper in nicely to the back. So what I need to do first is, so this is a standard 1.6 inlet. Those two posts there are for the injector rail. So I've popped some injectors in, and with my 100mm flat plate, the injectors clear over the top nicely. So what I need to do is clear all these runners of this webbing. So I'm going to shake that, cut these bottom ones off, take that off the top, and then this webbing in between. So when I'm welding to it, I'm just welding around that nice oval. So a lot of grinding and cutting and ting, so see you in a minute. Oh my god, that was laborious. Definitely got my money's worth out of this wire brush. But yeah, here we go. Chop down. Cleaned up the best I could. I'm gonna give it another going over in an acetone. Here's my plate. This is 100mm by 10. Basically, I'm gonna weld this on there, and then I don't know, after that I might have to cut them back at more of an angle maybe to get my welder in. Top end. Top end should be alright. It's going to be tricky welding in. Again, this is the first inlet manifold I've ever made, so this is all a learning curve. Right, I might work out a length for this and cut this on the bandsaw. I'll chuck you in the old head cam. I'm going to try and show you my workings out. So I'm torn between whether to use a standard inlet for cheapness, then I'll also have the correct throttle position sensor. It's got nice little safety features like a double wound spring, so if something fails, it's got another spring. I'll have to make a blanking plate to blank off this idle control valve because I'm not going to use that as it's a race car. Sure, and also that'll be a lot easier. This is the original neck, so I can literally weld that on to clear it. So obviously I need room around this engine to put it. Actually, tell you what I do need as well. Alternator brackets. That stupid Ed Sheeran song stuck in my head. Oh. Whenever you're doing a project, everything takes 10 times longer than it should. Right. I need to chop this off. Let's go above this bracket. The question is, what length? I mean, I'm going to go back about an inch behind. I don't know whether that's needed, but that'll give me like a reserve of air, maybe. What I want to do with the pen. Oh, I'll go about an inch in front as well. What's that? Okay. I'm gonna go 14 inches square. I said about an inch past the back. Gives me there to the front. And then I can build off that. Right, so if I do that, where can this go? Maybe if I do level with that, then I can weld that there. And then this can be on the outside of that, tapered in, down. Yeah. I'm going to do that. I don't want to have to make another one of these. I want to keep that square. If you ever stuck for a scribe, get a old TIG tungsten. Use that, they're great. Just on the large side. Beautiful. How square is that? Not that square. Square that off on the sandar. Okay. Right, scrap that. I'm going to use this. It's cutting pretty square. Okay, so jump forwards a little bit. I cut it, I've marked it, so it actually needs to sit lower down. So obviously that can clear the alternator, this can clear the injectors. So I've just marked where it's got to go. I'm going to put 2 tack welds on, because then I can take it to and from the car and start building around it and working other things out. So let me buzz that up. I think I need a bigger welder. This is this torch is only rated to 150 amps because it's just air cooled. This is only a little 161. I really struggled just tacking that. It would melt the cast quite nicely, but then I think this 10mm just zaps the heat out of it. So Luckily, I'll go visit Jakey Poos at Lingfield. He's got the same welder, but 200 amps, which is good. So anyway, I got it tacked. Ain't going nowhere. So yeah, load of room. Plenty of room to get in and do all my bolts. Get the injectors in. I've got clearance over my alternator. I can get to my oil filter good. When it's sticking out there, I'll be able to get to that from under the car. Hopefully get to my starter motor. But yeah. So again, as long as I can tack it together, I can do the final welding down at Jake's maybe. My welder's big enough for this, just not for that 10. This is a giant sheet, untouched sheet of 2mm alley, and this is a half cut sheet, so I'm going to make the rest out of that. So yeah, what's next? I'm going to make some cardboard templates in my shape, I think that's what I'm going to do. With my cardboard aided design. This is sort of the shape I'm going for. I might do it just square and then weld all the way down. Kind of want to do it in one piece and fold it like I said on there. That looks really hard to do. And then this can just sit. I can use a piece of that 10 across the front. Weld this on. Weld that on there. And again, router. What I'm going to do to get the inside bits, I've seen a few people do it. Weld the big chunky plate on. I'm going to drill a big hole in it. And then get like a 10mm quarter radius with a bearing. And then the bearing will run around the inside of this. And radius off the 10mm really nicely. So I'm going to do it for that bit. And obviously all 4 runners in there because this alley is nice and soft. But that's the basic shape I'm going for. Obviously it's going to be welded onto the front of it, not laying on top. Or if I'm fancy pants, I might even route out 2mm down so that kind of locks in and then just weld across it. But I haven't got a router yet. So I think that's ample room in there. This isn't going to fit. So I'm going to move it over to about there, which will give me a bit of clearance, not much. Obviously this cardboard's like 6mm thick or something ridiculous, so I'll have another few mil there. Could always just put it on a slight tilt maybe for some fun. Actually I could even just leave it in on the slight tilt. I don't know if that's a thing you can do. But yeah. Woo! Hello. Christmas has been and gone. Not been up here for a couple of weeks. So I'm cracking on. This is the profile I'm after. I've done a test bend. So that'll do. I've just marked out my sheet. I'm going to cut the whole thing square. So when I fold it, I can then bandsaw the angle in it. But yeah, let's crack on. go. So you're getting the idea. Obviously I can't fit it past, so that's why I'm going to cut that angle on it. But yeah, that's the shape I wanted. Let's cut the angle on it and test fit. So just cut the taper in it so then I can run a nice bead of weld on that edge. I'm going to cut this back portion at that angle rather than that angle. Yeah, loads of room for activities. Loads of room. Oh, that's close. Just a small tilt on that and that'll give me room. Or if I can just move it over a little ½ inch, maybe. Yeah, I'm liking that. Where's my end? There it is. And just have that there. It's right in the middle. That looks alright. Right, let's cut the ends. Just give it a bit of fine tuning and cut the front and rear plates. I suppose the rear plate will just be out of this. Actually, I might do the. Oh no, I want the bell mouth. So 10mm for the front, a 10mm plate here. Yeah, boy, liking that. Okay, I've been busy. It's the next day. I've had a lot of adulting to do. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. But yeah, so I've done 10mm end cap. I've done as tight a fitment as I can get, but big blobby alley welds will cover that. Little 2mm plate on the end. This is the way up it goes in the car. Here's an original 1.6 MX-5 throttle body and the mouth of the inlet. So the idle control valve part, one of them goes on here, or the cold start valve goes on there. So it's got a little rubber gasket, and what I'm going to do is use this 10mm plate to make a blanking block. I'm just going to have it all standalone, and it's a race car, so I don't really care about the cold start crap. As long as it's got a double spring on the throttle, so in case one snaps it will still shut off. A standard throttle position sensor would be very nice. They're also very cheap, these things. Also, the 2.5-inch tubing is practically a straight fit. So this is 2.5-inch exhaust. Is it? I don't know, hold on. Right, so that's 2.5-inch. It is like a direct fit. So my intercooler piping will just have one straight silicone on there. And then because this is a 10mm plate, I'm going to weld that on there and do the same technique with the router and route out the hole to give me a nice sort of smooth entry for the air. The shape will hopefully keep the pressure down at the back, so the back cylinder gets enough. I've done a bit of research and spoke to a few people and they said it should be okay. So yeah, I'm going to call this video here because I feel like it's about 8 hours long anyway. But welding it's going to be a problem, so I tacked it there and it took me forever to tack it, and I just think this 10mm alley and this thick casting is just such a heat soak, and I've only got a little 161 amp TIG welder, so I think I'm going to the base plate, once the base plate's welded on, the other stuff should weld quite good. So I think I'm going to have to put the base plate and the cast portion either in the oven or on a barbecue to just absolutely get it red hot. I can have the barbecue just outside on the bench, weld a portion back on the barbecue for a minute. So yeah, once the base is welded on, the rest will fly together. Oh, I might have to do it with this portion as well. Luckily there's no plastic on this side. So yeah, catch you in the next video.